So I was asked by somebody to watch this video. I first saw a little article or something that I guess Dave calls a dad a moron, like says your father is a moron. So I have a feeling what I'm about to see is somebody, this is my guess, somebody offers a strategy outside of what Dave recommends, and it's most likely a totally solid recommendation, and he doesn't have anything to say but calling them names, making fun of them. We see this in certainly just the various ideology crap in our country. The powers that be love splitting us up, and it's real easy. If you don't like somebody, you call them a bigot. They're a bigot. They're any whatever phobic, right? They've got some phobia. They're a racist. Well, Ramsey has done this same thing forever. He first chooses to insult, and certainly, I really don't understand how he's so deep in churches because of that component. He calls people fools, morons, scammers, idiots. So my guess is somebody presents something and Ramsey chooses to insult. That's my guess. And we see this throughout our culture. If you're the one to where your entire argument is just simply the one that can insult, then you don't have an argument. You lose. So my guess is Ramsey loses on this one. So let me hit play here.
Let's play the
That's
play
his
the
daughter,
Instagram reel.
by the way.
This is my daughter, Maddie. We're at a car dealership right now, and she's about to buy her first car. Tell me how you're buying your first car.
This morning, I went to the bank. I got my first car loan. I qualified for $15,000.
At what interest rate?
3.5%. With the money that I have saved up, I have $7,000 in cash. I'm going to invest that into an Airbnb property and get 14% interest back, so that way I can use that money to pay off my car loan. So basically, kind of getting a car for free.
Arbitrary.
Wait, Maddie, can you explain that one more time, a little more simply?
Yeah. So it cost me 3 cents to borrow $1 from the bank, and then I go and take that dollar, not my dollar, and I give it to someone for 14 cents. And then so 14 minus 3, 11. So I keep the difference in the middle.
Wait, what's that called?
Arbitrage.
Boom! You buy assets that then cash flow and pay for your stuff.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, he's so proud.
Well, I
Okay,
mean, he's so slimy.
There's a few things.
You need to take a shower after watching that.
Oh
guy.
my gosh.
Fuck you.
It just drips in arrogance.
drips in
Well,
arrogance.
there's a lot of things about this. Number one, I really don't feel like you can get an interest rate. I don't think you can get a loan. How old was she?
She's 15. She cannot get a bank loan.
No, so he co-signed, which probably helped get a lower interest rate. And
Okay. All right. So you're not denying that they might have gotten the money for 3.5%.
Yes.
What I don't understand is the $11,000 in an Airbnb property.
You can't buy an
Or
Airbnb
$7,000
property for $11,000
Yes,
either. You
that's
could
what I was
invest
like,
in
I
it
don't-
with a bunch of partners.
Oh, you can invest in it with a bunch of partners. Of course she can't get an Airbnb. We don't know what this dad does. Maybe the dad, I've looked at with my wife starting a bunch of Airbnbs. Maybe this is something he does. And he's in a position to where he can use some of his daughter's capital. And of course she can't buy her own Airbnb property for $7,000. But is he denying?
Into an Airbnb property, and
But
that's
what she would-
assuming the Airbnb property stays rented and the local city council doesn't pass a law against Airbnbs, in which case your little butt would be broke at 15 years old because your father's a moron.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's look at now. I know why someone told me to do this. So your father is a moron. Could you imagine another man saying that in front of your daughter to you about what you just demonstrated? Dude, that's horrible. Called him slimy. You need a shower. He's a moron. Or if you're the one that does the insulting, you don't have an argument. Dave does this just a bad person. Okay, so let's look at this. So other people's money at 3.5%, maintaining her $7,000 and putting it in a position Let's even assume she could do those things. Let's say she got the 3.5 and her $7,000 could get the 14, and she's leveraging an asset to pay for the expense. That is arbitrage. The wealthy have done this forever. Banks do this. So let's look at Dave. You would need to then tell us and prove to us and call banks morons and idiots. What does the bank do with CD, with money that we deposit? We put money into a CD, and what do they pay us? Let's just say in this case, 3.5%. They have a debt. They take other people's money, our money, and they pay us 3.5%. But what are they doing? They're earning additional money above that 3.5%. They're earning 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 24% on credit cards. They're using other people's money in order to leverage capital to go get a return. So, Dave, you have to admit then and try to tell us that banks are idiots and stupid and bad models, and all of those banks should return all of those deposits and wipe out their 3.5% debt to the depositors. This, there's only one person that deserves being I can't say that. Nobody deserves to be insulted. But if there is someone who is getting names thrown at them, it certainly isn't this father who's teaching his daughter proper stewardship of capital. Yes, you can use other people's money. Now imagine if that car could also be involved somehow in a business transaction, and that interest was now deductible. Then your net cost to borrow is maybe like 2.875, even cheaper. You're using other people's money to maintain control of your money so that you can be out there using it and getting a return. Yeah, Dave, that isn't a moron. That isn't slimy. That isn't needing a shower afterwards. That is exactly what you can do in all kinds of settings throughout your life. And instead of depleting your capital, if you pay cash for something, it's the same thing as paying interest, because you lose interest. You can run this analysis. The debtor and the cash buyer get to the same place. They both get to zero. The debtor goes into debt and pays interest and eventually gets back to zero. The cash buyer saves first, then pays cash, and goes back to zero. If you can even run the math on this, the math when the variables are the same, you either pay interest or you lose interest, and it turns out identical. So a cash buyer is no different from a numbers standpoint when it comes to interest loss. And Dave doesn't ever touch on that crap, right? So, yeah, and then this is why a lot of people leverage insurance contracts, because they can do this very thing. They can borrow the insurance money in their insurance contract, in their life insurance contract. They can pay a little bit of interest for that while their entire balance is still earning, and they can go do something with that loan, and they can bring it back, and they can play an arbitrage game. This stuff drives me crazy. So now I know why somebody wanted me to watch this. And so Dave, I just can't even get myself to lower myself to his ways. That's it. I'm done.